Hansi Flick has shown, unlike a lot of managers at the big clubs in Europe, that he's going to trust all of the players that he has at his disposal, and he's going to rotate. Lewandowski doesn't start today. Ferran Torres comes in, scores a goal. That means we will have El Clásico in the Copa del Rey final, April 26th in Seville, Spain. For Barcelona, it's a little surprising. First time they made it to the final since 2021 because they've won this thing 31 times. This is their 43rd time advancing to the final. And you're talking about two sides here, Adam, who very much realistically can be daydreaming of a treble, yet they could be standing in the way of one another from winning any trophy whatsoever. I mean, this thing is going to be from Copa del Rey to CONCACAF to UEFA Champions League, and then, of course, La Liga. These two sides could be colliding in all three competitions.
Well, I've been saying this for quite some time. Spanish football is just so entertaining this season. Atletico Madrid falling away in the title race, so it's going to be between Barcelona and Real Madrid, and it's proving to be that way, as you said, in the Champions League and the Copa del Rey as well. And where will we be at that point in time? April the 26th, I think, the final in Seville. How will we be feeling about the other competitions? I think the thing for Barcelona, and what impresses me about this young side, is that they are able to get things done when the backs are against the wall and that they haven't got the momentum going for them. Atletico Madrid had played pretty well in that first half, but they were able to get the job done. Rafinha was fabulous again. Great to see him back in the lineup. Ferran Torres, I mentioned him getting his opportunity with Lewandowski. That was a gutsy call to leave Lewandowski out of the starting lineup, given how he's played for Barcelona this season, but it worked. For Hansi Flick. Once again, he just keeps making the right call. There's confirmation of that starting 11. So it was that front three of Rafinha, Torres and Yamal rather than Lewandowski. But Pedri was fabulous again in midfield. He's been so good for them this season. And they looked, I mean, I know we had that goal later on that was disallowed, but they looked pretty solid defensively as well.
When you look at this starting 11, Adam, the thing that's so amazing to me about this young Barcelona side, 5 players rotated from the match against Girona just a couple of days ago. When you come out of the international break, the talk for Barcelona was they've got to manage 3 matches in the span of 7 days. How are they going to do that? Hansi Flick has shown, unlike a lot of managers at the big clubs in Europe, that he's going to trust all of the players that he has at his disposal, and he's going to rotate. Lewandowski doesn't start today. Ferran Torres comes in, scores a goal. It almost doesn't matter. Whoever they put in the starting 11 seems to produce at the same level. And that's what I think is so impressive about this Barcelona side. They have by far been the hottest team on the entire planet since the calendar year turned over. And you keep wondering, will they run out of some steam? But Hansi Flick has trusted players. He's made those rotations. Ferran Torres, as we talk about right here, comes in and produces even when Lewandowski doesn't start in the match. And I just wonder if there's a culture that's developing around this Barcelona side where every single player knows he's going to be called on. He's ready for the responsibility, and they don't fear rotating their roster.
Well, this man, Hansi Flick, has proved himself to be a master of rotation and also a master of trusting the young players.
Yes.
He's been forced into that because of the financial issues at the club, meaning they can't sign all the players that they want to. So he's had to trust in the young players, but he's been able to instill them with this belief that if they get their opportunity in the side, they are going to deliver and they're going to get the victories they need. It's been such an impressive season, and I think has shown why Hansi Flick is one of the best man managers in world football. He's done a tremendous job, and I think, you know, they deserve to go on and win these competitions. Will they be able to do it? Will they be able to win La Liga? They are leading the table at the moment from Real Madrid, so they're in the driving seat in that one. They've got Borussia Dortmund in the quarterfinals in the Champions League, as you can see there. I mean, the expectation certainly is for them to go through in the Champions League, and then they'll face Real Madrid in the final of the Copa del Rey, having already won the Supercopa de España earlier on this season. I think it's just been such a tremendous season for Hansi Flick. I love watching them. They're such an exciting, entertaining team going forward, and they have been forced into making these rotations and trusting the young players because of the busy schedule that they've got. You know, you had that rearranged game from a couple of weeks ago that they managed to get through, and every time there's a little hurdle been put up in front of Hansi Flick and his players, they seem to be able to jump over it.
Give a little credit to Atletico Madrid for the way that they came back in the second half of this game, because through the first 45, they looked like they had nothing to offer. 1 shot, 0 on target through the first half of this game. Second half, they had 5 shot attempts. We saw the one ball hit the back of the net off a Sorloth, but I almost think it's a little appropriate that it was a goal that was disallowed for offside. Because one of the big talking points, as much as we want to talk about the amazing attack of Barcelona, has been that high line that Hansi Flick wants to play. And is anybody going to be able to time their runs well enough to take advantage of it? We all remember all the offsides that were called, or the offside flag coming up so many times against Kylian Mbappe earlier this season. We're going to get to see that again. Can Real Madrid finally figure out how to solve that high line? Because so far, nobody's really done it against Barcelona.
They haven't, and that's the thing that's interesting for me when you watch this Barcelona backline, is that you're playing a dangerous game. You've got to be a really, really together unit across the back to be able to play that way. We saw Arsenal do it back in the day, when they had a fabulous backline. I'm sure you remember that, when they were able to play play the offside trap and make it work. We don't see it quite as often in modern football, but Barcelona are doing it well this season. Will Mbappe and the rest of the Real Madrid attacking players, Vinny Jr., have sort of learnt their lesson for the next El Clasico, to be able to get in behind of the Barcelona defence and not be called offside. It's going to be very interesting, but it's one of those things where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stick with it. That's been working for Barcelona so far this season, and they like to play this attacking football. Who'd have thought we'd see 2 5-4s on aggregate in the semi-finals of this competition? But Barcelona have this attitude of, if you're going to score against us, we'll go and score more against you. And I did, to answer you the first part of your question, Atletico Madrid, when you watch the first half, you did think, well, that hangover from going out in the Champions League is just keeping on going. Where is this side been for the last couple of weeks? Because they were having such a tremendous season. They went on that long unbeaten run, and then the train has got off the tracks, and they're going to have to try and find a way back to get some confidence back, because they've not got too much to play for now this season.
On the flip side, Barcelona have to be just about as confident as any team in the world right now. Real Madrid, it's always dodgy. It's not really convincing. But here they are. And would it stun anybody if they found a way to hoist this trophy on April 26th?
No, and Real Madrid are the masters, aren't they, of these set-piece games. They're so good in finals. We've seen it in the Champions League so many times recently that when they get to the final, they're then able to produce the performance they want. I think it's a coin flip. Hard to call, well, the title race as well, but also that Copa del Rey final. I wouldn't like to really pick a winner. I mean, I think your heart goes with Barcelona and the way that they've been playing, but it's always difficult to rule Real Madrid out. They always seem to find a way to get a victory when they need to.
Get your popcorn ready for April 26th. It's going to be a lot of fun.